VT is a 30-year-old company that have been writing software for sale yards for the last 30 years.
Right.
We advanced from the sale yard area to automation for the growing feedlot industry, in that they needed a higher quality of recording and a higher quality of control over their animals and how their animals are handled.
Right. Leonard, you've used the VIA's Mini ITX motherboard in your unit there. What was the main reason for that?
Smallness and its robustness.
Okay.
We started to use ITX computers in the restaurant industry,
Right.
and in the cattle yard industry, where we placed the ITX computer in the back of the console unit here.
Right.
We have them in sale yards all over the state, and the idea is that the box, stainless steel box, is complete. The unit can be then installed in any of the cattle yards and operates. Never had a problem with it.
Okay.
The size of the unit, the way they work, and the flexibility of the units. This particular model here, we haven't got the ITX computer in the top because it has a lot more control mechanisms to go with it, and so therefore the unit has been placed in a full IP65 control box. As you can see down here, you've got the computer, the power supplies, the remote controllers, the industrial controllers, all the relays and fuses are all in the one box. That can be closed up and then it operates at the cattle yard.
Now you're using Mini ITX at the moment and complete PCs, and you also mentioned to me that you're looking at using UMPCs in the future. How do you see implementing them into what you're doing?
The major concern for UMPCs in this environment is a large producer who may have several sets of cattle yards which you can't move would like to take his one PC from yard to yard and then finally go home at night.
Right.
And so instead of having to duplicate a console in each of the yards, he'll be able to put his UMPC. The other factor that's important to him about his UMPC is when he's in the paddocks and he's going through the paddock, he might see an animal that is not doing as well as it should, might have a problem. He can then just touch into his UMPC that the next time this animal comes through the crush, he should get an extra dose of a certain set of vitamins or an extra medical requirement. So his ability to record everything around the paddock is increased greatly.
How many times a year would cattle go through a crush?
Depends. If you're in a feedlot situation, you'd like to run your cattle through at least once every 3 weeks. If the animal is not performing, say putting on a kilo of beef a day, then you don't want to put him on high performance feed any longer. He's culled off and sold to be grass fed and mature over a longer period of time. So the controlling of them. The other thing is that you're looking at meeting very narrow meat specifications. A company like Woolworths are extremely conscious of supplying a certain size steak throughout their stores, so they want an animal that weighs between 400 and 450 kilograms.
Right.
So every 3 weeks you're running all your animals through and peeling off those that are just coming into the specification range.
Yeah.
If you don't look at your cattle regularly, then you're going to get a wider spread of the sizes of your cattle, and so therefore the product which they're putting on the shelf will vary. They want top quality, and so they're saying he must have been fed on grain for at least 90 days, he's got to be in a certain weight range, and he's got to have been gaining a certain weight per day. In other words, he's a very healthy, very good animal, and he can be selected off and sold as the premium grade of animal. And so by running your animals through, you're checking how they're going and just drafting off those that are exactly ready for the market.
Okay.
The computer system allows you to tell it the rules where you want to draft, and then animals are running through. We get about 250 animals an hour through, automatically being weighed, read and drafted off to their right categories.
How long would that take manually if you didn't have one of these?
About 100, you do about 150 an hour and make at least 5% of errors.
Right.
Okay, so you're eliminating a lot of errors.
A lot of
manual
errors.
So you're saying before that they when they do it manually, they're literally writing it down on a notepad and then having to transcribe that back into a computer back at the farmhouse?
Yes, a lot still are on manual systems, and that leads to a massive error rate. And you could be taking a good animal and because you've written down the number wrongly, instead of him being 430 kilos, you've written he's 230 kilos. And so you said he's a dud, where actually he was a very good animal.
Right, so you can actually lose a bit of money as well.
You could lose a lot of money by making mistakes. The automation part of it, the beauty of the VIA computer, another reason why it's so important to us, is that it is a standard Windows-based computer, so the programming of it is in the commercial programming field as opposed to the industrial programming field, and it's got PCI slots. And so we have the benefit of having all the PCI driven hardware as opposed to USB driven hardware, and USB is just nowhere near as good in its
Not as
operation.
reliable, yeah.
So the VIA has served us very well in that we can use the PCI port in it.
Right, okay. Now, I mean, we also spend a lot of time in developing low-powered, cool computing as well. Has that helped you at all with the design of the computer? In fact, we don't need large amounts of fans, or do these units get used in hot environments? Or?
Not really. We only start at around about -7 in the morning on a cold morning and go up to 46 degrees on a hot afternoon.
So it's quite extreme type temperature range.
Very extreme, high dust levels. We've got to be reasonably careful of the water situation. That's why we put them in IP65 boxes.
Now the IP65, is that a completely enclosed case?
That's an enclosed case.
Right, so no airflow through there at all?
Well, we can put air in it if we need from the compressed air system.
Okay.
But if you take the most harsh boxes that we have, we've got 8 units running the drafts at Wagga sale yards.
Right.
It's not uncommon for those computers to start in the morning at -4. And I've seen them sitting in the afternoon sun at around about 46 or 47 degrees as the sun shines in and the tin boxes get a little bit hot.
Yeah, just a bit.
And we've never had a physical problem with them at all.